Wait, me or they? Oh, them.
Them.
We're live. That's right.
Live in Vermin's living room / kitchen.
Yeah.
Just jamming out here. Just some slow jams
Some
or whatever.
slow-
A few
Yeah,
days
it's a
before
hot summer.
Christmas.
Yeah. So first of all, Merry Christmas, or it's coming up. So happy holidays
Happy Hanukkah.
and all that jazz. And yeah, we're here again today, and we're gonna have another topic that we're gonna talk about.
Number one question I'm always asked, I think. Number one
question.
how do we pick music for our videos?
Yes, I get that question a lot as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy question to answer, to be honest.
No.
with you. You know, first off, it's a very subjective thing. Different people have different tastes in music, or pacing and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, for our stuff and what we do, we have our philosophy. I know your philosophy is very different from mine sometimes as well.
Right.
Where we cut to music, cut to sound as well. It's
Right.
very important.
I know I have good taste, you have lousy taste, but there we go. Anyway, just kidding. No, it's hard, it's very subjective, but there are some tricks and tips that we maybe can give you to help you pick tracks for your next video.
Yeah, absolutely. I first and foremost, I think it's very important to
We
understand.
got a message here that says, sorry, we
got a
don't
message.
see it. Are we live? Are we sure? So we'll just work on these two messages here. Is your Q&A still on today? I don't see it, says Joe Herman.
Well, Joe, I think we're on,
Live
unless we're
now.
not techies, but hopefully we're on. But if we're not,
Let's
apologies.
see here. Yeah, we're live. There I am.
We're live.
Hey, there I am.
Yep.
We got 4 people watching.
Four
Welcome.
people.
It's awesome. Okay, back to the topic at hand.
Back to the
Sorry.
topic, yeah. So, I mean, the first thing that you have to understand in terms of music isn't really, what piece of music I love. That's really not the case. It really
Right.
is the content that you're cutting. Whether it's a long piece, a short piece, is it a documentary, what's the feeling you want, all that stuff matters more than whether you like a piece of music or not.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing I do is I start cutting the footage. When I get my footage back, sometimes beforehand, depending if it's a commercial, if it's a short commercial that I do, I would start researching music and get myself into the mood and go, okay, this is a piece that I would like to, eventually shoot towards and everything, because it's 30 seconds, 60 seconds, not very long.
Yeah.
When it comes to longer stuff, I have an idea going into a shoot, but really when I start getting the footage in and I start editing, that's when I realize, okay, this is the type of music I should be looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how the first step I do, that's how I approach the music.
I would agree. I would just say I do the same thing, I guess. Yes, short video. I'm often driven by the music. So sometimes I'll even go through some of the sites that we're going to share with you later, and I'll pick out, I'll just listen to just random tracks, and I'll favorite them because I think, this might work with this type of video, or this might work with that type of video, and I'll just keep a mental library there. And if it's a short video, I'll definitely let the music lead the cut. I'll cut to the music and wrap everything around that music. But if it's a longer piece, like a documentary, then, Anna Lowry listening in from Scotland. Hey, welcome. What time is it over there? Or is it Scotland, Ontario? I don't know. Just close to where I'm from.
Well, thanks for watching.
But definitely, I think the big thing we want to share with people, when you're picking your track, you may end up picking multiple tracks. Even if it's a 30-second or a 60-second video, you may use 2 tracks. Why is that?
Well, because, certain videos will evoke different emotions. Maybe it starts off with a problem and then it becomes a solution at the end. So, the problem part, you want a piece of music that shows that it's a struggle. While the other part, the second half, when you have a solution and everybody's happy, you want a joyful piece saying success, something kind of like that. Now, back when I was doing commercials for big companies and everything, that we would actually get music composed so that the composer will actually have the same piece of music, but it has the ups and downs to accommodate the emotions and mood that changes throughout the piece.
Yeah.
Now, for us now, with some of the clients that we do, or some of the projects that are a little smaller, or even for you guys at home that are doing something a little smaller, you can't afford to hire a composer to
Well, let me be honest with you. I've only used a composer once in my life.
Wow, really?
And
Okay.
it was not very good. I was not happy with the results.
Yes, that's also very true. I've had that experience as well, because
the guy just
their
doesn't
take
get
of
it.
music, it could be very different from yours, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot of money. Really good composers are worth the money, but can you spend thousands and thousands of dollars on just one piece of music?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And the reality is nowadays there's so much music out there online to choose from there really isn't that big of a need. And if you're able to blend a couple pieces of music together to you know, for your piece, it should work just with the stock music that you find online.
Okay, so 5 p.m. in Scotland. All right.
Scotland, UK.
We won't keep you too long. You're going to be eating your dinner very soon. Okay, let's kind of get some order here. So we would pick a piece of music.
Yeah.
Now, I'll let you know another secret, that we rarely use that music as is. I usually go in and hack that piece of music up.
Oh yeah.
I may lift out like a verse, even though there's no lyrics, where the verse would be, and double up the chorus. Or I have no hesitation of going in and re-editing that music track to fit my needs.
Absolutely. I find that like sometimes if I'm doing a 1 minute spot, right? I start looking for music that's only 1 minute long.
Yeah.
Usually it's very generic and doesn't really have like the ups and downs I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So what I end up doing is looking either for the longer version of that piece of music or just longer pieces of music that I can just start taking sections of it and hacking it down into the 60-second or 30-second or whatever it may be that I need.
Because you're looking for a track that's going to give you, it's going to build to something. It's going to give you variations, right?
Yeah.
It may start off slow, then build up high, and then drop back down, and then build up again really high and climax, and then fade out. You want something that you cut your story to, right? You know, if you're having sort of, even if it's a 30-second commercial, you've got to have a story flow, a narrative over it, and the music's got to go with that. And the more the music can give you and variations, the more you can bring that into your edit.
Yeah. So I mean that's the biggest thing. Like people ask, you know, what music? How do you choose music? Well, it does take a lot of time, and even if you have the piece of music you think works and then somehow it doesn't work, there's a lot of editing involved. It's not just the piece of music.
And I've picked pieces of music and I just, hit it right out of the ballpark, a home run. This is a great track. The client loves it. Everybody loves it. And I've picked music that's a dud that I just thought this is working, and everyone else around me has said, yeah, no, this doesn't match what's going on. So,
but that's okay. Everybody has different tastes.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Now that's actually a very good thing that you brought up, because sometimes I come up with something and I think it's like the best piece of music in the world. I show it to Dean, he's like, that's horrible, that's horrible, that's horrible. I mean, you have to understand, you're not cutting the video for you. You're cutting the video for the audience. You have to understand your audience, right?
Right. I don't know, I kind of separate from here because I think as an artist, even though you're making promotional and marketing videos, you're still creating art. Don't forget that. And so I think the artist still has to have something inside of them. Because I lean on that. I lean on what moves me musically, editly, I just made that one up, creatively in my edit. So I would say I'm bringing something to the audience. But
no, that's true.
I don't get it all the time.
That's true. And so don't take it too hard on yourself. If you're like, oh my goodness, I can never get the music right. Sometimes the audience doesn't react to the type that you feel. You're an artist, yes, I agree with that. But yeah, sometimes it's not the right thing. The client might not like it. It's not your fault. It's just different taste and everything.
I would, a couple of tips, if it's an upbeat or quirky track, with ukulele or hand clapping, which are very hot these days, whether they're worn out fat or not, you might want to use them. Be sure you're not using them for a sad documentary on sick kids or something, maybe, but near the end maybe, but not for the beginning. Any songs with minor chords, those are very good for sad pieces like an A minor or C minor. Don't have to get real musical. You'd hear these chords if you heard them. Also breaking up using multiple tracks.
Yeah.
You were talking about this before we went live. Using multiple tracks was another reason. It was about keeping the audience's attention.
Yes. Some of the videos that we do right now can be up to like 20 minutes long.
Wait, no, I showed you a 4-minute video.
Yes, that's true.
I showed you a 4-minute video. I used one music track. I used the entire edit there. I maybe repeated the chorus one time, but I used the entire song. And at first cut, just the offline, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
And then you came in and you said,
Yeah, I saw it, and I felt like, there were two sections to your edit. One was like the problematic section. The other was
setting up the frustrations, the negative, the kind of here's the problem.
Right. And then the second half was all about the solution that they found and how the positive results that they're getting based on the solution.
Yeah.
So you used a happy music all the way through.
Yeah.
And what I realized was like, okay, I kind of lost focus, and I couldn't really grasp where the transition point was. So my suggestion to Dean was maybe what you need is to have a slower piece of music during the problematic section and the faster music later on. It also helps me kind of recapture my attention because the piece is relatively long. 3 minute versus like a 30-second spot is relatively long.
Yeah.
And that would help recapture my attention, especially now if in a 3-minute video, I needed something to recapture my attention. Imagine if you're doing like a 20-minute video.
Yeah.
Right? To break it up, to indicate to the audience that, hey, there's a topic change or there's a mood change or something like that, and hey, come back. There's a transition in the story. Music helps that tremendously.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important.
And let me go back to the composer thing, just to be clear, because you're talking about durations, 2 minutes, 20 minutes. If I was doing a TV drama, I would definitely love to have a composer, because you've got so many beats along, and I mean story beats when I say story beats, not percussion, that you've got to transition through with the music, and you can't just do that with canned music.
No, you can't. Sometimes you can if you get lucky. That's the only thing. But apart from that, those breaks and everything that the composer can give you is very dramatic.
Yeah.
Speaking of breaks, the lack of sound, the absence of sound, and sound effects is very important as well.
We got like 5 minutes here that we've scheduled, so I don't even know if we want to go into nat sound and sound effects. We might save that for another one, because that's another very important topic that I see a lot of people who are starting out to make videos, they kind of neglect.
Yes.
They neglect the natural sound of the environment or of actions that people are doing in their B-roll. And they also don't, even though they didn't capture them on location, they don't bother to add them in later. And I think we should really explore that, because I think that right there in itself, everybody knows to add music, but sound effects and natural sound, I think, will take people's videos up to the next
absolutely.
line.
So back to the music itself, I think in terms of
Notch level? I don't know what I was saying
the
there.
notch level?
Yeah.
The notch level, that's how we work. Apart from nat sound and sound effects and everything, what was my train of thought?
I don't know. But let's show you where to pick some music. Let's go with that.
Okay.
We'll wrap up here.
Sure.
Okay? We use a website called Audio Jungle. It's super price effective, very reasonably priced tracks on there. They've got tons of tracks, a decent search engine. We use it a lot. You'll actually hear a lot, once you start using it, you'll hear a lot of like TV commercials and promos around that are like, oh, I heard that on Audio Jungle. AudioJungle.com. They've also got stock footage and everything there.
Yeah.
And PremiumBeat.com. Karen Lee, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Karen.
Is that Karen Lee from...
Is that
Karen Lee? I know Karen Lee from Hong Kong.
Yeah, back in NGC days.
No, Toronto.
Toronto.
Karen Lee in Toronto. Welcome.
Welcome.
Great. Any questions? And can we clarify anything for anybody?
Actually, before you continue with the different websites and everything, I think it's important that people understand that music should not fight over the voiceover as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the things I notice that when I go on YouTube and watch videos, not the music that they use is overpowering and it's fighting because of lyrics and everything.
Right. So number one, you want to pick music without lyrics if you're going to have a voiceover in or any dialogue that's in your video. Number two, you have to be aware of that music track. You can't just put it in here and keep it at 0 dB. You got to mix it. Bring it up when there's no dialogue. Bring it down when there's dialogue.
Yeah, and if you do want dialogue, it'd be good if the dialogue matches your topic.
Yes.
Yeah, like if you're talking about something that's very serious, like incurable cancer or something like that. And then suddenly you have, music that's talking about booty and everything. That doesn't really work too well.
Okay, we're running out of time here. 2 more minutes, 10% on the battery. I don't know how this is just going. I didn't change my battery with the iPhone yet. I've got to get that done. I'm going to try to get that sorted today. Okay, PremiumBeat.com is another one. The search engine is not so great on it, and they're a little bit more expensive. And there's a lot of, electronica music on there. Yeah. But it's also a decent website to use. What do you use?
Yeah, actually, Audio Jungle is something I always go back to because I realize that when I go to other websites, I find the same music, but it costs a little bit more.
It's cheaper there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I always start there, and then, Premium Beats is another one. I don't know. I always gravitate to Audio Jungle nowadays.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty good. And then there's also some really high-end ones that are owned by like the big labels, Warner Brothers, Sony's, BMI, all that they own. And you can get really great tracks, but they're really, really, really expensive. We're talking a couple $100 for track, or to thousands of dollars a track. Plus, there's also a website out there. I don't know what the website is. We'll put it in once we do the repackage of this thing. But there's a website where you can pick any commercial or licensed music at all. You can say what you want. Like I could pick Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss or a Kid Rock song or whatever. I'm dating myself here dramatically. A T Swift song. You could pick one of hers and you could say, I want to use it on an internet video that I'm doing. Would you give me the rights? And they'll negotiate the rights, but be prepared. I've gotten some quotes for like
Did you
17.
say T Swift?
T Swift. And I got a quote of 17.
Do you really know who
Yeah,
T
Taylor
Swift
Swift.
is? Okay, all right,
She's
okay.
shaking it off right now. The quote was 17 grand to use the track. that we used.
17
Yeah,
grand.
yeah. I mean, that's
Wow.
a real music track, a real commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We gotta wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Well, speaking of wrap it up, we want to wish you Merry Christmas. Joe Herman, thanks for tuning in. Be sure, if you've got any questions, to follow up with us here that want some clarity or something, or repeat something we've said, or another topic, please let us know.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. I guess until thank you. It's
Merry
just me.
Christmas.
How come this look like I wrapped this? Did you just get it from my place or something?
It was here when I showed up. All right. Feliz Navidad.
All right. Merry Christmas, guys.